My youngest daughter McKenna has become quite the coaster enthusiast over the last couple of years. So when the opportunity came up for me to take her on a 5-day road trip to the San Francisco Bay Area, which would include stops at California's Great America, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, she jumped at the chance. Of course, there are a ton of other things to see and do in the Bay Area as well, so we decided to check out the Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, Fisherman's Wharf, and the Don Edwards San Francisco Bay National Wildlife Refuge. And of course, we always look for cool things to do en route. So we stopped at Fort Vancouver in southern Washington and Whiskeytown National Recreation Area near Redding, California. So with a bit of planning, we packed our bags and hit the road. This is Kurt from Go For It Adventures, and let's check out our Bay Area road trip. On day one, we left early in the morning from our home in southern BC and drove the 5 hours to our first stop at Fort Vancouver National Historic Site in southern Washington, which is also home to the historic Pearson Air Museum. Fort Vancouver was a Hudson's Bay trading fort built in 1825. There is an amazing amount of history represented there with a ton of cool things to see and do. The Pearson Air Museum showcases a ton of vintage aircraft, exhibits, and artifacts tied to the aviation history of Pearson Airfield and the Vancouver Barracks. Both of them are well worth a stop, and both include a Junior Ranger program if you enjoy getting the Junior Ranger badges as we do. After a few hours exploring Fort Vancouver and the Pearson Air Museum, we continued on our way to the Bay Area. On day two, we spent the morning exploring the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, which started with a visit to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is stunning to look at from every different angle. We then did the Batteries to Bluff hiking trail, which was a fantastic trail with beautiful beaches, incredible views of the bridge, and amazing flowers. We were continually impressed by the amazing nature of this coastal area despite lying so close to a major city. After that incredible hike, we visited Fort Point, an amazing military fort built during the height of the California Gold Rush. It is one of the most impressive brick masonry buildings on the West Coast. It is a very cool place to visit, especially if you like history. The fort includes a visitor center, ranger-led tours, a museum, and a Junior Ranger program. This was an amazing morning full of nature and history. We then decided to have a late lunch at Fisherman's Wharf. We are always up for a clam chowder bread bowl and a little shopping. After a delicious lunch, we drove to the south end of the bay to California's Great America, which is a great amusement park with a solid coaster collection that includes Gold Striker, a great GCI wooden twister coaster, Railblazer, a very forceful RMC Raptor single rail coaster, and Flight Deck, a solid B&M invert coaster, among 9 total coasters. There are also some solid flat rides, a very cool double-decker carousel, a tram that takes you from one end of the park to the other, and some good food options and live entertainment. We had a great time riding the coasters and just hanging out in this park. It is a very clean and well-maintained park, and well worth the visit. What a great time we had at California's Great America. On day 3, we started the day by visiting the Don Edwards San Francisco Bay National Wildlife Refuge for a couple of hours. There was some nice scenery and a very nice but easy hike, a very nice way to start the day. then drove the 34 miles down to Santa Cruz. We started with a visit to the city wharf, which was built in 1914 and happens to be the longest pier on the west coast of the United States. We saw a ton of sea lions swimming in the water, relaxing on the beams of the wharf, and we had a great time just watching them hang out and swim around. We also had a great view of the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, which was our main stop for the day. The boardwalk was founded in 1907 and is the oldest amusement park in California. It has 3 roller coasters, including the Giant Dipper, a classic wooden coaster that just celebrated its 100th birthday this year, as well as several flat rides, a few dark rides, an arcade, a gondola ride, and carnival games, as well as classic carnival food options. This is a very clean and well-run park and has been voted the best seaside amusement park in America, according to Amusement Today, for 16 of the last 17 years. We had a wonderful time experiencing this park for the first time. We especially enjoyed Giant Dipper, riding it about 5 times. Although a bit rough, as many Woodies are, it was amazing to ride this 100-year-old coaster and discover how thrilling it still is. What an amazing job the park has done maintaining this classic coaster. We had a fantastic time at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk and look forward to going there again someday soon. On day 4, we started our way back up north with a visit to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This park is considered by many enthusiasts to be a middle-tier Six Flags park, but for me and my family, we have always really enjoyed it. It is the perfect mix of coasters, theme park atmosphere, and a zoo. We love that you can ride some coasters and then go watch an animal show or see some amazing animals in some very cool exhibits. Of the coasters here, 2 of them are in my top 10 coasters in California. Medusa, a B&M floorless coaster with a 150-foot drop, 7 inversions including the rare sea serpent roll, and some great forces, as well as the Joker, an RMC hybrid that has a 95-foot drop, features 3 inversions and some great airtime moments, and makes the most out of its 3,200 feet of track. Both of these coasters are an absolute blast. Discovery Kingdom is definitely our favorite of the theme parks in Northern California. On day 5, we headed for home but decided to make a couple of stops along the way. First off, we stopped at Whiskeytown National Recreation Area just to the west of Redding, California. It is the perfect stop for a travel day in Northern California, as it is only about 15 minutes from the I-5 and has a very nice scenic drive with wonderful views, some great hiking trails through beautiful nature with opportunities to see wildlife, as well as a visitor center that includes a gift shop, some great info, and a junior ranger program, which we love to do. This is a great place to break up the drive while exploring some history and nature. After several more hours on the road, we decided to take one last stop a couple of hours from home at the Seattle Premium Outlets, a great place to take a break, do some shopping, and get some dinner. A few hours later, we were home after an amazing 5 days of checking out coasters, nature, and history in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you so much for sharing this adventure with us. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button and subscribe. And until we meet again, just remember that adventure is out there, so go for it.